We're speaking to Bill Donohue today of the Catholic League based in New York City, who released a statement in which he described as a bad omen that a poll has come out that describes more Americans than ever as describing themselves as non-religiously affiliated. Bill, why is that bad news?
It's bad news for the poor, for the needy, for the dispossessed, because we know from the work of Arthur C. Brooks, who's the president of the American Enterprise Institute, as well as David Campbell and Robert Putnam, that the most charitable people in the United States, by far, are religiously affiliated people of any religion. The people who are the most miserly, the stingiest people in our society, are the ones who don't practice any religion. Their idea of charity is to pick the pocket of the taxpayer by saying that they should increase taxes and therefore help the poor that way. They themselves don't want to do anything. They don't want to write a check. They don't want to give blood. They don't want to volunteer. The evidence is overwhelming. So to the extent that we have a spike in the percent of Americans who are religiously unaffiliated, from 15 to 20%, most of them young, most of them white, most of them college educated, most of them quite affluent, these are people who are not likely to give to the poor. So it doesn't speak well for our society as a whole. And, you know, if you look at the internals and look at the internal data on this, you'll find out that these people also are the ones who don't like religion because there are too many rules. So look at it. Young, white, rich, college educated, single people. They don't want to live under rules at all, which is why they support gay marriage, abortion rights. It's kind of a free-for-all. They like the Democratic Party, and they're not likely to write a check or to give of their time to the poor. This is bad news for the poor. The poor people need more of the religious-oriented people. And if our society was smart, what it would do is that it would give more of a tax break to the people who give their money to the churches, that way stimulating more help to the poor, because the people who are the secularists, they don't really care about them at all.
Is this evidence, do you think, of a trend towards secularism in the United States? Say on the order of Europe, where we see plenty of Christianophobic incidents taking place?
I think that's the case. We've had this militant aggressive secularism over the last 10 years or so. But let's remember this now. It's not altogether bad news. They're mostly young. Yeah, on the other side, there's the baby boomers. The baby boomers, of course, you know, they're yesterday's hippies, many of them, and they still haven't grown out of their situation. But when people get married, they tend to settle down a bit more, and they also take religion more seriously. It's also true that the non-white population is not going in this direction. And remember, the atheists shouldn't be breaking out the cigars. Of the 20% of Americans who don't have any religious affiliation, 14% of them do not want to be associated with agnostics or atheists. And in fact, 68% of them pray on a regular basis. So there's only 6% of Americans who are really agnostic or atheist. And so I guess if you believe in nothing, you stand for nothing, then it's a good chance that you may find that you're going to have nobody joining your ranks. So I don't think it's altogether negative, although I am concerned for the poor, because secularists tend to be the most miserly segment of the population.
Thanks so much. We've been speaking to Bill Donohue, head of the Catholic League, which is based in New York. I'm Martin Barrios, reporting for Sparrow News. You can see us on our YouTube channel and at sparrownews.com. Thanks again.
Thank you so much.